Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Tanisha Avasthi. Let's quickly get started with the 6 stories that have set the agenda for today. The Tukde gang is back in action, ladies and gentlemen, and at the heart of it is back in focus, the Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi. In Tamil Nadu, it is a huge win for the Hindu side on the Deepam verdict, and we will tell you why. In Andhra Pradesh, gas leak at the ONGC well has triggered panic in the area with 3 villages with nearly 600 people being evacuated. It is a state of emergency in that area. Moving on to other stories that are making international headlines. In Nepal, there are communal tensions flying thick and fast over a social media post. I am a war prisoner, says and pleads Nicolas Maduro in court as he faces the United States law. Meanwhile, in Venezuela, there was another late-night attack that took place near the presidential palace. And finally, shifting our focus to what's happening in Iran, the whereabouts of Khamenei is unknown and the protests in the country are only getting all the way more aggressive. 6 stories for you, starting first up with the top story. Ladies and gentlemen, Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi once again found itself in the middle of a political controversy. This as a late-night gathering to commemorate the 6th anniversary of the 2020 campus violence morphed into a heated protest against the Supreme Court's denial of bail to former students Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam in the 2020 Delhi riots conspiracy. First, let's listen to what happened last night. What began as a solemn remembrance escalated when participants allegedly raised inflammatory slogans targeting the Prime Minister and the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, including threats of grave digging on campus soil, prompting the university administration to deem them highly objectionable and provocative, and also seek an FIR from the Delhi police for potential disruption of public order and contempt of court. The incident, echoing the 2016 sedition, now drew swift condemnation from the BJP leaders who labelled it anti-national, while the opposition voices defended the right to dissent amid the ongoing student grievances over library surveillance measures, reigniting debates over free speech and campus politics. Here is what the controversy is all about.
January 5th marked 6 years since masked attackers assaulted students and teachers inside the JNU campus in 2020, an incident that remains unresolved. The JNU Teachers Association observed the day as a remembrance, saying the attackers are still unidentified. The JNU Students' Union organized a late-night event called a Guerrilla Dhaba near Sabarmati Hostel to commemorate the violence. However, controversy erupted after videos surfaced showing students raging objectionable slogans against the Prime Minister and Home Minister. The protest also focused on the Supreme Court rejecting bail pleas of terrorists Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam in the 2020 Delhi riots case.
सांपों के फन कुचले जा रहे हैं और सपोले बिलबिला रहे हैं। ये जो लोग हैं जो आतंकवादियों के समर्थन में नारे लगाते हैं, नक्सलवादियों के समर्थन में नारे लगाते हैं, दंगाइयों के समर्थन में नारे लगाते हैं, इन्हें पता लग चुका है कि जहां नक्सलवादी होते थे वहां नक्सलवादियों को ख़त्म किया जा रहा है, जहां आतंकवादी होते थे वहां आतंकवादियों को ख़त्म किया जा रहा है, और दिल्ली के खिलाफ साजिश रचने वाले दंगाइयों को सुप्रीम कोर्ट पहचान चुका है और उनको कठोर सजा देने का रास्ता खुल चुका है।
Students termed the court decision an attack on dissent and demanded the immediate release of the 2 accused. The BJP has strongly condemned the protest and termed it unfortunate.
ये जो हो रहा है ना, ये सिर्फ जेएनयू की जो जेएनयू के भी लिए नुकसानदेह है, जेएनयू के छात्रों के लिए भी नुकसानदेह है, जेएनयू की फैकल्टी के लिए भी नुकसानदेह है और देश के लिए नुकसानदेह है। एक सम्मानित शिक्षा का कैंपस जो है वो अराजकता और उद्दंडता का केंद्र बन जाए, सम्मानित शिक्षा का जो है वो की बजाय जो है वो सांप्रदायिक दीक्षा का केंद्र बन जाए, तो अफसोस की बात है।
Another major issue that was raised was the installation of facial recognition cameras and magnetic gates inside the university library. The students called it excessive surveillance.
ये लोग नफरत की आग में अंधे हो चुके हैं। ये द्वेष भावना में इतना है कि इनके अंतिम समय निकट है। बार बार ये भारतीय स्टेट के खिलाफ नारेबाजी करते हैं, भारतीय न्यायपालिका के खिलाफ नारेबाजी करते हैं और बच के चले जाते हैं, जबकि इनकी भी जगह, ये लोग जो सिंपैथाइज कर रहे हैं ये भी नक्सली हैं और इनकी भी जगह वही शार्जिल उमर खालिद की जो जगह जेल में है, ये लोग भी वहीं पहुँचने वाले हैं। वो भी यहीं से वहाँ पहुँचे थे, ये लोग भी वहीं पहुँचने वाले हैं। और जेएनयू में नक्सलियों का बहुत पॉकेट्स कम बचा है, लेकिन इस तरह की बातें करके, इस तरह की नारेबाजी करके बहुत प्रासंगिक बने रहना चाहते हैं।
The Delhi police has sent notices to some JNU Students' Union office bearers for questioning over the protests, while the JNU administration has written to the Delhi police seeking the registration of an FIR, calling the slogans provocative and a violation of campus rules. The university has now issued a statement calling out the protesters and denouncing the provocative slogans.
And ladies and gentlemen, in a significant victory for the Hindu devotees, the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court dismissed appeals by the Tamil Nadu government and others, upholding a single judge order permitting the annual lighting of the Kartikeya Deepam at the ancient stone pillar known as the Deepathoon atop hill in Madurai. The division bench sharply rebuked the state's law and order concerns as ridiculous and an imaginary ghost, cautioning against politicizing the issue while emphasizing that the ritual rooted in historical temple records does not violate Agama Sastras or infringe on the Dargah's rights.
Celebrations in Madurai. This as devotees, advocates and petitioners welcomed the High Court verdict allowing the lighting of the sacred Deepam on the Deepathoon at the Thiruparankuntram temple. The issue centers around the Deepathoon, an ancient stone pillar located atop the Thiruparankuntram hill near the Murugan temple. For decades, devotees have followed the practice of lighting a deepam on the pillar as a religious tradition visible from the surrounding areas. The practice was stopped after objections were raised, with the Tamil Nadu government citing possible law and order concerns and claiming the ritual could lead to communal tension. The restriction was challenged in court by devotees and Hindu organizations, who argued it was a long-standing religious practice. The Madurai bench of the Madras High Court upheld the earlier ruling of Justice G.R. Swaminathan, clearing the way for the traditional lamp to be lit atop the ancient pillar on the hill.
They have said it is an auspicious place on an auspicious day, that is on Kartikeya Deepam, the light has to be lit. And they have also indicated that it is a tradition where lighting of a lamp at the top of the hill so that the devotees at the foothills and the nearby vicinity area can see that and worship. And lighting the lamp is also treated to be a sign of Shiva. That is what the judges have written in the judgment. We will have to wait for the copy of the judgment to so that we can express our view in elaborate conditions.
The court made it clear that the lamp must be lit only by temple authorities. No members of the public will be allowed to accompany them. The Archaeological Survey of India can impose safeguards and the district collector will supervise the entire process. The Tamil Nadu government had opposed the move, citing fears of law and order problems, but the High Court strongly rejected this argument. The state government had moved an appeal against the single judge order, reiterating its stand that allowing the ritual could pose a threat to public order and communal harmony. The court said it was ridiculous and hard to believe that a powerful state feared disturbance from the lighting of a lamp. It also rejected claims suggesting the pillar belonged to a dargah, calling such submissions mischievous. The bench observed that lighting a deepam at an elevated place is a long-standing Hindu practice meant to be visible to all devotees, and there was no valid reason for the temple administration to deny the request.
The Honorable High Court of Tamil Nadu, in a division bench order today, has given justice to the devotees of this very, very old and ancient temple atop the Thiruparankunram hills.
The court warned that creating imaginary fears of unrest only breeds mistrust between communities and undermines harmony. With the High Court's ruling now upheld, the path is clear for the traditional Deepam to be lit under strict supervision, marking a major legal and cultural victory for devotees at Thiruparankunram.
A massive gas blowout at ONGC's Mori 5 well in Andhra Pradesh has triggered a towering jet fire during repair operations, forcing the evacuation of residents from nearby villages and sparking widespread panic. The blaze, reaching up to 20 to 25 meters in height, raged into its second day despite cooling efforts, through its intensity diminished by January 6 as firefighters created a water umbrella. Here is what the situation looks like on ground.
A massive jet fire, rising nearly 20 meters high and spreading over 25 meters wide, erupted at an ONGC-owned gas well due to a gas leak. Dense black smoke and a strong, pungent smell spread rapidly, prompting Konasima's locals to immediately alert emergency services. Officials confirmed the fire continued to burn for more than 20 hours before its intensity began to reduce. ONGC has deployed specialized expert teams from Delhi and Mumbai to douse the gas well blaze and prevent escalation. As a precaution, residents of 3 nearby villages were evacuated due to the risk posed by the highly inflammable gas. Reports confirm 80% of the fire is under control, with active effort to control the rest. A rehabilitation center has been now set up to shelter displaced families. Authorities say that the situation remains under close monitoring as efforts continue to fully extinguish the fire and secure the drilling site.
And in stories that are making international headlines, in Nepal's Madhesh province, a video posted by 2 youth containing alleged anti-Hindu remarks sparked intense communal tensions, leading to the vandalism of a mosque in Dhanusha district. This provoked widespread outrage among one community who staged protests in Birgunj and other southern areas involving tire burning, stone pelting and clashes with police that resulted in injuries. Here is what the situation in ground looks like right now. The situation has escalated and the area is extremely tensed.
In the heart of Nepal's Madhesh region, a seemingly innocuous social media post has ignited widespread communal unrest, leading to protests, vandalism, and curfews. What began as offensive religious comments on social media has spiraled into clashes between communities. The spark, a video put on social media posted by 2 Muslim youths allegedly containing anti-Hindu remarks.
Hindu-Muslim riots are quite unheard of in Nepal. But this week, Nepal is in the news for all the wrong reasons, which is an incident of Hindu-Muslim tension across southern Nepal. It all started from Janakpur in Madhesh province in southern Nepal bordering Bihar, where 2 youths posted TikTok videos which Hindus found objectionable, and thereafter they retaliated by attacking a madrasa in Dhanusha district in Janakpur, and later on Tarai-wide, Madhesh-wide, across southern Nepal, there have been protests, and officials in Kathmandu have appealed for calm. The Madhya province government in Tarai.
In retaliation, a group of youths vandalized a mosque in Dhanusha district's Kamala municipality. This act fueled outrage among Muslim groups, who took to the streets in Birganj and other parts of southern Nepal, protesting the alleged attack and demanding accountability. Protests quickly turned volatile, with reports of stone pelting in various areas, including Birganj. Clashes with police ensued, resulting in injuries and heightened tensions across the Madhya province. Authorities responded swiftly, imposing a curfew in Birganj, a key border city with India. Security forces have been authorized to take strict measures, including firing if necessary, to maintain order.
Quickly moving across to what's happening in Venezuela, where last night there was heavy gunfire that erupted at the presidential palace on the night of January 5, 2026, amid heightened tensions following the United States-led capture and removal of the former president Nicolas Maduro just days earlier. Here is what happened last night and how the situation is only escalating.
Multiple gunshots, skyline marred with unidentified drones. This was downtown Caracas as unidentified drones allegedly attacked the area around the Venezuelan presidential palace. Unidentified drones were reportedly seen near the presidential complex in Venezuela's capital, prompting a response from the Presidential Honor Guard. Locals in downtown Caracas captured the drone attack around the presidential palace area on Monday night. Intense gunfire and explosions were heard in areas near the presidential palace, with government buildings immediately evacuated. Power outages also occurred in parts of Caracas as per local reports.
The president and Nicolas Maduro and Celia Flores declares from the judge not guilty. Second, the vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, was sworn in the presidency of Venezuela in midday, more or less. But the journalists, to make coverage of that activity, 7 of that journalists was arrested. That situation generates so many comments in Caracas.
The police later confirmed that gunshots were fired by them in response to the unauthorized flight of drones over the area, denying any instance of confrontation. Though the ministry reiterates that situation nationwide remains stable, the timing of these drones just after the US strikes raises eyebrows.
And on to the final story that we're tracking on this edition. There are ongoing protests in Iran which have now spread across dozens of cities, with fresh reports of deaths and mass detention as demonstrators rage against the economic collapse. But the world is asking one question that still lingers on is, where actually is Khamenei amid all of the protests and the strong warnings that are being issued?
Iran continues to be on the edge. Protests continue to rock cities across Iran. Widespread public anger over economic collapse and the plunging rial spills into the streets of Tehran and beyond.
The death toll in protests has climbed to at least 35 people, as demonstrations show no signs of slowing and continue to spread nationwide. Among those killed are 29 protesters, 4 children and 2 members of Iran's security forces. More than 1,200 people have been detained so far, with mass arrests reported over the past 24 hours as security forces intensify their crackdown on protesters. The demonstrations have now reached over 250 locations across 27 of Iran's 31 provinces, marking one of the widest protest movements the country has seen in years. What began as outrage over runway inflation and the collapsing Iranian rial has evolved into open defiance of the political leadership, with the chants increasingly targeting the ruling establishment. Iran's Revolutionary Guard and paramilitary forces remain deployed in major cities, using force, arrests and internet restrictions to contain the unrest. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has not appeared publicly in recent days. His office has issued statements rejecting the protests as foreign-inspired, even as speculations circulate on social media claiming contingency plans, including a possible relocation to Moscow. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has warned of possible American intervention if Iranian authorities violently suppress peaceful protesters, a statement Tehran has dismissed as external interference. With protests entering their second week, pressure mounting on the leadership and no clear signs of de-escalation, Iran appears headed for a volatile and uncertain phase, both domestically and on the global stage.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल।